So you're running a nonprofit, which means you are no stranger to paperwork. But what if I told you one of those documents wasn't just another form to file, but was actually your golden ticket to unlocking major funding and success? Well, today we are going to demystify one of the most powerful and often misunderstood documents you have, the IRS determination letter. Just think about all the hard work that goes into fundraising for a second. The grant writing, the donor meetings. It's a grind. What if I told you that your access to all of that, to the big grants and the major donors, really hinges on a single piece of paper? Any guesses what that might be? Yep, it's this right here, the IRS determination letter. And please, don't think of it as just a letter. This is the official document that screams, "We're legitimate," and opens the doors to the funding you absolutely need to make a real difference. Okay, so why all the fuss? Why is this one letter so important? You've got to understand that for funders, this isn't just bureaucratic red tape. This letter is the absolute bedrock of their trust in your organization. I mean, think about it from their perspective. A funder can't just take your word that you're a 501c3. This letter provides that definitive, non-negotiable proof. It's the official thumbs up from the federal government, confirming that, yes, you've been reviewed and you've earned that coveted tax-exempt status. Let's break down exactly why they demand this letter. First, they need tangible proof for their own files. It's a critical part of their due diligence. It also lets them instantly verify your legal name and EIN to make sure everything matches up. It shows you've already passed the tough scrutiny of an IRS review. And maybe most importantly, it protects them from the risk of giving money to a fraudulent group or an organization that's had its status revoked. All right, so we know it's a BFD, but what's actually in this thing? The best way to think about it is as your nonprofit's official passport to the world of grant funding. So let's pop the hood and break down the key parts. First up, and this is the big one, is the official recognition statement. This is the magic sentence, folks. It's the formal, legal declaration from the IRS that officially grants your organization its tax-exempt status. Without this one line, you've got nothing. Next up is the effective date. Now, this might seem like a tiny detail, but trust me, it's huge. It tells funders exactly how long you've been operating as a recognized nonprofit, which gives them a sense of your stability and maturity. Plus, and this is super important, it marks the official start date for when donations to your cause became tax deductible. The letter also spells out your foundation classification. Are you a public charity getting broad support from the public, or are you a private foundation? This is a critical distinction because most grantmakers heavily prefer to fund public charities, and this is the exact spot they look to confirm it. And finally, for your fundraising team, this is huge. The letter explicitly states that contributions made to you are tax deductible. This is the assurance that gives potential donors the confidence they need to write that check and support your mission. Of course, life happens. It's not always smooth sailing. Letters get misplaced, organizations change over time. But don't you worry, there's a playbook for handling all the most common problems. Okay, let's tackle the one that causes instant panic. You're putting together a big grant proposal, you go to the files, and it's gone. You've lost the determination letter. What on earth do you do? Okay, deep breath. The good news is there's a clear process. You'll need to write to the specific IRS office that handles this, give them your organization's name, EIN, and address, and pay a small fee. It's about $85 right now. The only catch? You'll have to be patient. It can easily take 4 to 8 weeks to get that new certified copy in the mail. Here's another question I get all the time. Your nonprofit has been doing amazing work for decades, and your determination letter is just as old. Do you need to get a new one? Is it still good? So here's the deal. The letter itself never expires. A 15-year-old letter or even a 50-year-old one is perfectly fine as long as your organization's tax-exempt status has remained in continuous good standing. The only thing that makes it invalid is if the IRS revokes your status. And you can always check that by looking yourself up in the IRS's online database, which is called TEOS. Okay, but what about when things change? Nonprofits move to a new office, and sometimes they even rebrand and change their legal name. Does that make your old letter useless? Not at all. These kinds of changes don't invalidate your letter, but you do have to take some action. For a simple address change, you just file a Form 8822B to let the IRS know where you are now. A legal name change is a bit bigger. You'll need to notify the IRS, and you'll probably have to provide a little extra documentation to funders. But that original letter is still your proof of status. This is a tough spot for all the brand new organizations out there.
You're in that frustrating waiting period. You're excited to start fundraising, but you don't actually have the letter in your hands. What do you say to potential funders? I'm going to be really clear here because this is non-negotiable. You have to be 100% transparent and honest. You tell them your application is pending with the IRS. You never, ever, ever claim you have 501c3 status before it is official. Misrepresenting this can destroy your reputation before you even get started.
So, when you boil it all down, what's the one thing you absolutely need to remember from all of this? It's that this letter isn't just a piece of paper. It is the absolute foundation of your nonprofit's credibility. Let's come back to that passport analogy because it's honestly the perfect way to think about this. Your determination letter functions in exactly the same way. It validates who you are, and it grants you access to a world of opportunity and funding that would otherwise be completely closed off to you. At the end of the day, it's just this simple. This letter is your definitive proof. It's the US government officially saying, yes, this organization is the real deal, it's legit, and it exists to do good work. So what should you do, like right now? Here's your simple 3-step action plan. First, go find your original determination letter. Once you have it, make some really good digital scans and a few physical copies. And finally, take that precious original and store it somewhere incredibly safe, like with your permanent corporate records. Treat it like the treasure it is. Which really just leaves us with one final crucial question to think about. Now that you know just how important it is your nonprofit's golden ticket safe, secure, and ready to go for your next big grant application? I really hope the answer is a confident yes.